So welcome to the Sacred Ground Collective Monday Vision Circle. Sacred Ground Collective is a community that I intentionally created where we could understand the bigger picture of the galactic, of Earth mission, of male, female assignments, and how we can play on that platform to quickly unlock ourselves from those agenda energies of domination in order to build our star home here. The whole purpose of the Sacred Ground Collective is to be able to play with that as our kind of agreed upon information. So we gather in the sacred ground of sovereignty, calling in the sixfold field of protection and guidance and guardianship surrounding that for ourselves, our home, our land, and all we're connected to in love, including an extinction shield out about around that cocoon for all of ourselves and our loved ones. In this time of playing with greater clarity and support from those in the divine worlds beyond Earth, we are so grateful for their presence, for our conscious awareness of them and connection to them. And we ask that those channels be kept clear and secured and flowing with understanding of our safety and our calling, passion, support. We give great gratitude for that intelligent field of Mother Earth, of Gaia, for allowing us to work this some situation of the outsiders, to work it out on her surface, and we recommit to being with her in the restoration, her back to her glory. Grateful for her help and support. With that, we will ask the directions of north, of south, of east and west, of above and below, the element of water, air, fire, and earth to be with us as we clear and then broadcast the new. With that, our intention, space, and boundaries are set. We are here to be together this day. And so it is. So let's put ourselves into the circle, and as we do, however, if you want to by name place individuals in the circle or by number, those that we would like on that field, it's a healing temple field of divine good. Place them there. Any situation that you want to have the outsider or domination type energy dissolved and eradicated, so that the structures can reflect the divine. Any kind of issues that way, and a quality that you would like to have sung to us, if you will, while we meet today. So I'll begin. So Sharon, Raji, Maynard, here would be Island. I am going to bring 64 individuals into the circle, 3 very intense situations, and every situation in the globe that is in any way tainted or coming from directly dominators, I ask that they be put into that extinction circle. And the quality is collaboration with respect. And with that, I'm going to move on to Angelique. Your turn.
How many people did you have, Sharon?
I did 64 with 3 very intense situations.
Okay, yeah. Good morning to you all. Good evening to myself. And I am in the Netherlands, and it's rainy, rainy, rainy today, and yesterday, and the day before, and the day before that. And it's very cold. And there's a lot of yeah, it's very chaotic energetically here in the Netherlands. There are almost news elections, and people are really not knowing where to make their choices, and it's not very good. It's not very balanced. No equilibrium here. So I place in 13 people, especially my children, Christiane, Milan, and Rutmer, and my grandchildren, my 4 grandchildren, Hidde, Emma, Ruben, and Simon. And I pray for all children of the world in all 4 sacred directions. And my word is gratitude. And also I pray for all situations of disharmony and seeking for balance. So praying for beautiful outcomes for the highest good. And I go to Deborah Levine.
Well, thank you. I'm Deborah Levine. I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I've lived here for about 25 years. It's a southern part of America, and the weather here is quite beautiful right now, but very unpredictable. And I am very much aware of the changes in the dynamics surrounding us. And I'm being asked to take a lead in creating ways to deal with it. And part of me says that the word for today is courage, of how we're going to manage and make a difference and lead in these very divisive times, and find the energy and the ability to do what we need to do and be who we need to be for people. So I have about 14 colleagues that I'd like to put into the circle and pray that they also have the courage and creativity, right, to be outspoken, and hopefully their words, their writing, their attempts to highlight what is happening and make some kind of hopeful determination about it will be out there along with mine. I pray for all of us who are caught in the push and pull of today's energy, as it seems to be more chaotic than I've known it to be for many, many years, and hope that we are able to withstand it and extinguish the factors that are contributing to it. And we hopefully can do that together. Thank you. And I'll turn this over to the other Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah. I'm Deborah Mangus in North Carolina. I'd like to bring in 37 people, 6 personal situations, Mother Earth, and especially her earthquakes and volcanoes lately, and multiple world situations. And I'd like to bring in Grace. I'd like to call on Sue.
Thank you, Deborah. Sue Rooney, Lake Goodwood, Washington. I want to bring in one global situation of disconnect to spirit. And 27 people, one personal, and the quality of, there's so many. Spiritual healing. And I'll call on Evie.
Evie Boykin, and I'm from Anacortes, Washington. I'd like to bring in 12 people. I'd like to bring in the entire animal kingdom and all people who don't have their basic needs met. And the words I'd like to include are kindness and right-mindedness. And I think Marielle still hasn't spoken. So pass to Marielle.
Marielle, close to Montreal. I'll bring in everybody who has unresolved trauma. So basically, all human beings probably. And the quality is seeing the best in others and speaking highly of others, which would go together.
Oh, good. Okay. So we have, oh, I don't count the numbers because I have a hard time just remembering to put down the qualities. So there, whatever, all that we've put into that space of the divine good, that field of divine good, is the healing space, contains all good that can dissolve and heal and transform what seems impossible to us, which then opens doors to new possibilities that didn't exist in our world, in our consciousness, until that healing was done. So we place them in the hands of the PAG collective team, which includes multiple types of healing, PTO. Place them there with our love and blessings. So it is. The quality singing in our circle today, in addition to what will be here just because of your presence, is collaboration with respect, gratitude, courage, power of grace, spiritual healing, kindness, right-mindedness, seeing the best in others, and speaking highly and respectfully of others. So we're grateful for those harmonics as we meet today. So it is. I'm going to share a story. Marielle was on the call, so she knows this story, and I may have said it in some circles, but I think it's important for us to know. I was on a call with Sandy Hart of Sarah, SARAH, and a woman in Ireland told of a rainfall that was an unusual rainfall, and I looked it up, and it happened that just flooded this one city just in ways that had had never happened in their recorded history. Nobody was killed, but it was just very unusual. So she decided, knowing energy, she decided to get back on Google and follow the track, the weather track. And it was coming, I think, from the east, which it doesn't usually come from. It came from a whole different direction than usually the storms do in Ireland, which was unusual. So she kept tracking with the weather pattern that was coming from the weather service to see where it started. Where in the world did it start? And you know where it started? You want to take a guess? Marielle will know this. You want to tell him, Marielle? Where did it start?
Ukraine.
Over Ukraine. The energy of Ukraine had caused such an energy to begin that a storm coming from a direction does not usually come from, at a velocity that they have not experienced before, hit Ireland, flooded a town. Here in Washington, several years ago, I heard that we have a research center, of course, like most do at our university. So the University of Washington is tracking the chemicals that are in the air coming from growers. And in the United States, there's many chemicals now that are outlawed because of their toxicity. So this was several years ago, maybe 10 years ago. So a lot of these chemicals had been absolutely outlawed in the United States, and yet they were showing up in the airstreams over Seattle, Washington. And those chemicals were being used on farms in China. I've had several sessions lately, and especially with children. You know, in the tag work, we see a situation that's manifesting, and we're able to say, what triggered it? What did that person experience that triggered this old pattern to manifest, so that we can go and heal through going to the cause? And usually, almost exclusively, it is an interaction person to person. So if you're living on a mountain all by yourself, you probably won't be triggered very much. If you're in an intimate relationship, you might be triggered a lot. And now, you know, so a person is another person, and something similar that had happened in the past that was stored gets activated. And so here I have these, and I'll just speak of two of them, two children. They were acting very unusual and feeling very unusual. So I said, where did it come from? What triggered it? A person? No person. Sometimes it's a spiritual presence of it's not unusual, but kind of unusual. Like if you have a spiritual presence close to you, you may not know it, but that energy is too powerful. It's a good presence, but it's too powerful, can also trigger. So that happens, but rarely that I've seen. This was energy coming from Gaza, Israel. That energy had hit in the United States cloud here to such a degree that at least these two children had been triggered, and we had to work in that way. So with that said, I'm just telling you that to let you know that in my work, then what do? I don't duck and cover. We put together an extinction shield that I mentioned in our around whatever protection space you have, this extinction shield, so that the energies that are being generated by violence, by anger, by rape, who knows, we know they continue to vibrate. So not only will that extinction shield be in place to identify outsider type energies that coming from agendas that are intending to harm, that they are then captured, neutralized, and moved into extinction, but then activating, and I think it was maybe Deborah Mangus that said this, I can't remember who did, but activating those clouds of grace, that heart energy from women, that love energy. Our friend Cinda called it think pink. her angels of think pink of grace, activating that to begin neutralizing those systems from where it came. So I just want to put that out there for your awareness, and you can play with that and expand it in any way you want to. So let's go around and just, if there's any,
Can I add something about
open it up that space, anything you want to add before we journey. So Marielle.
yeah, from that meeting with Sarah, what was more important for me was that the lady from Ireland talked about a Belfast moment when there was an agreement on the Good Friday, and she didn't want to give me the details. She said, look on Google, but I haven't looked on Google, but it's still in my head that I have to find out what was the secret recipe for this Belfast moment when they stopped fighting. So it's still in my mind.
Yeah, that's very important. It's very similar to the Six Nations, or there were 5 nations that were killing each other up in Eastern Canada and New York area many years ago. That's what they fought each other. Revenge was important. Kill each other. You kidnap. I mean, it was that fight until one person said, this we're dying. This isn't the way. And he took a journey traveling west, met what is called the peacemaker coming west, and gave them what that nation is now using. They call it good mind. What are the values we agree on? When you feel yourself triggered out of those values, it's your responsibility to get yourself into those values. And it's very similar to that, Marielle, too, is the good mind of the nation, of the 6 nations. Yeah. So possibly, I think what's exciting is, like, it's happened before and it can happen again. And anything else you want to say before we do it? We're going to do a journey. We're going to take ourselves through the first few chakras and then do a journey with Gaia. But before we do that, yeah, Deborah's got her hand up. Deborah.
Just real quick, when the Berlin Wall came down between East and West Berlin, there had been a couple people were there, and they had been working on it spiritually, and nobody expected it to come down. But so
Yeah, dissolving the energy so that the structures can crumble reminds me of a news thing I heard on TikTok. The main news hasn't, I don't think it's picked it up yet. Should have picked it up Friday night. That in New York, the judge in New York has taken away all of the business licensures of the Trump organizations, many properties and businesses, absolutely took away their license because of fraud, and has placed all of those businesses into the hands of a judge who will receive them and who will be the director of dissolving them. To me, that's an example of what can happen when we get enough of the underlying energy that had been supporting it gone, then doors open that were not possible before.
I think I watched that, and I have to go back and watch it again. And I think that's the original indictment that they're now hearing that they set the case for the civil fraud, that they've already decided that, but now they're hearing the case to determine how much damages to collect from those corporations. But it also may be that they cannot do business. That's still part of the judgment that's coming up.
Yeah. What he was reading is that they had taken the licenses away. So that means they don't exist as a business any longer. Yeah. Okay, anything else you want to speak before we journey? You might want to have a journal or paper handy. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of guiding and then leave you on your own. So we'll probably be journeying for about maybe 15 minutes max. if you get finished before that, and if everyone's finished before that, then we'll come back together. So find a way and a place for your body to be comfortable. If you need to stand up and stretch or shake before that, get a drink of water. Water is so important with energy work, of course. And just take a deep breath. And closing your eyes is comfortable for you. Close your eyes. We reaffirm that we are in that ground of sacred sovereignty, and all that we are doing is in the energy field held in the sixth and fifth worlds or higher. Whatever each of us need for that clarity, nurturing, that vision. We ask that our teams, each of our teams, take us there. You're breathing, you are in this present moment of time. Anchored to Mother Earth, with the power that comes from that standing place. And yet in consciousness, your team is going to move you back in time, as if before Earth, you're looking down and you're ready to incarnate. Everything's in place. Your causal team is there. Your trusted allies and friends and loved ones are there. You're totally protected, guided, even though you know that you're going to be moving through dense energy to incarnate into this new body. So take a moment and feel the presence of those who are sending you off. Some will be traveling with you. You're not alone. Is there anything that they need to say to you or you need to say to them? And then just imagine your soul self moving and being called energetically into this tiny body waiting for you. Your causal team traveling with you, providing space, holding you as you move into that tiny body. Just take a moment. What did it feel like? Were you able to get into it well? Make sure you land correctly into the bodysuit. Tiny, but landing into it. And this time you're bringing the awareness of your angels, your allies. They are there with you. What is it you need to ask of them? Is there wiring that seems wrong? Is there energy around you that needs to be cleared and dissipated? What bubble do you need around you that they will create? There is your us as your circle of mothers, and we are saying, as your circle of mothers coming on this journey again, but with friends. We bless you, we welcome you. And we sing away all the negative karma that is marked to simply be dissipated to light. activate the protocol of dissipating those seeds to light. They will not restrict you. Because you have this amazing spiritual group around you, let yourself breathe differently than when you first came. Move the body differently than when you first came. Spread that energy bubble of protection and healing out to ripple, to change the environment. You now know you're landing in a field of divine good. Cocooned in safety in the sixfold, you have your team with you. Everyone around you is placed in healing spaces. You're free of that past trauma, pain, worry, concern that you're not enough. All of that dissipates. And in this new you space of birth, let your causal team remind you, if you've forgotten, you are a presence of. What is your core presence purpose of? Let yourself feel that energy. What does it feel like in that baby suit, that 1-year-old suit? That remembrance. And let yourself imagine that energy, your focus, your intention, your energy. You're now feeling your feet on planet Earth. And you might be one, you might be two. Indigenous tribes, sometimes it's a special rite of passage at a 2-year-old that they touch the earth. I am here, Mother. I am a presence of. And even though that bodysuit may be two, and the presence of is that of a 2-year-old, it might be feel joyful and delightful, and there's safety and there's support. You're not alone, and everything outside the bubble is placed in other teams' hands. It's not yours. There is Mother Earth opening her door, apron on, giving you a hug and say, I knew you were coming. I knew you were coming. And you will know exactly how to be you. And as you enter into her space in that inner world, inner earth, what hallway does she take you down? Is it a root system? Is it a river way? Taking you into the great field of wise women, the mycelium of wise women. It's inner earth, Gaia held. Who is there? What does it feel like? What do you need more or different? These are your sisters, all ages. They see your presence written all over your energy field. You are a presence of. And for the next 7 or 10 minutes, be there. Design it as you need it to be designed. Talk to those that need to be heard from you. You need to hear from them. This is your time. What does Gaia and all of her elements, all those parts of her family, in addition to these wise ones holding female truth and value, what is there for you? If you have questions, ask. I'll see you back in just a bit. in your imagination being there with Gaia, ancestral mothers and grandmothers of wisdom. Notice yourself now, not as that young 2 or 3-year-old, but as you in your present body age. Within the great field of Gaia, there are multiple energy fields that can guide you, direct you, work with you. In that space, coming from the mycelium, being able to imagine yourself on the surface of the planet, right there in front of her doorway. What of her calls to you? Is it the stones, the trees, the air, plants, animals? What calls to you? Says, I will walk with you. I will join your spiritual guidance team and walk with you as a representative of the mother. So just be there. Ask the question. See who appears and what they would like to say to you in this moment. So now breathe in all that you've experienced, marking this spot in your psyche. You can travel here anytime you choose. You can hear the call whenever Mother calls you. Turning to that element within her field, is there an agreement, a new partnership that you want to make? Tree or stone, water, air, plant, what kingdom? And when you're ready, find yourself moving again down the path, around the bend until you are back in your home and in the circle, taking time to capture everything that you would want to capture in whatever way works for you. And I'll see you in just a bit.